Thoughts aren't just in your mind, they carry energy. And if you don't take control of your thoughts, they will control you. So today, we are talking about how your thoughts shape your energy, why this is so important for HSPs and empaths, for my sensitive souls, and how to actually shift those thoughts. Listen, if you're always thinking about how hard life is, how overwhelming it is, how much anxiety you always feel, and you wonder why nothing ever changes, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, because that's the exact energy you're putting out and what you're going to get back. It is a reciprocal energy. So what you put out is what you get back. And I know, it's not what you want to hear. You're like, God, that is not what I want to hear. But if you're an HSP, if you're a sensitive soul, your thoughts aren't just thoughts. They carry energy, frequency that affects everything in your life, your mind, your body, your soul, everything on the external, internal. And if you don't take control of them, they will control you. They will. So today, we're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about how your thoughts and energy are connected, why shifting your emotional state is the key to real change, and how you can do it in a way that is really accessible, and how to actually shift your energy without just that fake positivity. Because look, guys, fake positivity is not going to take you anywhere. So I'm going to give you the real practical ways to shift, not just mentally and physically, but like emotionally, spiritually, because sensitive souls don't just think emotions, they feel them in their entire being. So your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts are backed with an emotion, and that emotion emits a frequency into the universe every single time you're having thoughts, subconscious, conscious level thoughts. So this is why it is so important to take control back. So those frequencies, again, are reciprocated, and it's not what you want to hear. It's really hard to hear, but we know if we can have the ability to take control back, why wouldn't you take it? It's a vicious cycle that we get into, and we're going to talk about that. So we're going to learn how we can start taking those tiny little micro steps towards change, because it's not about huge steps. It's about micro steps. If you are new here, my name is Ginger, and welcome to The Thriving Sensitive. I am a coach for sensitive souls, as well as an intuitive energy healer, and I'm so grateful you are here. If you've not subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribe, and also share these videos with other people so they can understand like who they are as a sensitive soul. All right, let's get into it. If you are a highly sensitive person, I see you. I know what it's like to feel everything, to carry the emotions of others, to feel the chaos, to overthink, ruminate, to feel overwhelmed and anxiety all the time. But I also know this, you are not powerless in this, and oftentimes we feel powerless. The thoughts you focus on, they are shaping your reality, your energy, your frequency, everything. Everything you see in your reality is created by you. And that is so hard to grasp. God, it's so hard to grasp. I get it. On the flip side, it also means that you have the power. You can change that. You are the person who can change it. And you are the person who is responsible for that change. Here's what most people don't realize. Your thoughts aren't just words in your head. They are literal vibrations in your head. They send out a frequency into the universe. Every thought, backed with emotion, emits a frequency to the universe. So think of your mind like a radio station. Whatever you're tuned into, fear, doubt, frustration, overwhelm, anxiety, it is the signal you're sending out. And that's what is reciprocated in what you get back and what you experience in your life. Let me give you an example. You get into your car. You get into your car frustrated. There is a lot of things going on. You are frustrated. And then you hit a red light. And then you hit another red light. And then you hit another red light. And then somebody cuts you off. And you're like, my God, seriously. It is because that is the frequency of frustration you're putting out. So it is reciprocated. It is given back to you. Every time this happens to me, I realize, oh, what energy am I in? That frustrating energy that is attracting more frustrating things. So I take a deep breath, realize I need to shift my energy. And it doesn't mean I go from like frustration to like, I don't know, feel like I'm riding a unicorn in the clouds. No, and I'm like, oh, I feel amazing. I just make a small shift in doing a little breath work and shifting my energy. That's the key, those small shifts. And we're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk about the thoughts that you are consistently saying to yourself. If you keep telling yourself, life is so hard, I am anxious, I am always drained, no one likes me, why does this always happen to me? All these thoughts, everyone always hurts me. These absolutes too that show up, always, never, everything. I get it. I still speak like that sometimes. This is the thing though. This is how your brain has been trained. You've taught your brain to respond this way. Just like you teach your body how you take care of it, work out, movement, eating right, exercise, all that stuff. So your brain is wired for patterns, habits, right? It's a freaking computer, y'all. So this is also neuroplasticity. Your brain forms pathways based on what you repeatedly think and believe. It goes back to your belief system. So if you've been telling yourself the same limiting thoughts for years, those neural pathways get stronger and stronger, making that negativity an automatic response. This is why those people that are like the glass, like are half full, not half empty, they may frustrate you because you're like, I don't think that way. How can you think that way? It's hard to see it another way because you're in that habitual thinking. These people have either been taught since childhood to think that way, or they've rewired their thinking. They created a new neural pathway, and it takes practice to think this way. I've always been the person that was that half glass empty, and I still struggle. It's like my automatic thoughts go to the glass half empty. It takes me a minute to get to the glass half full, but that's a shift. That is a small shift. So yeah, my neural pathway immediately goes to that negative thinking, but then I have created those shifts and those new neural pathways over time that I can move into that new neural pathway, but it takes me a minute. I still go to that negative thinking and then move to the positive thinking. It's that micro shift. So this, as like using me as an example, shows you that you're not stuck with this kind of thinking. I had to practice it. I had to make a choice. So your brain isn't stuck like this forever. And I didn't want to think like that. Neuroplasticity means you can literally rewire your brain. You make those shifts. You change those thoughts. The more your brain builds new pathways, kind of like carving out a new trail in the woods, that is one way to look at it. So the more you walk that path, the easier it gets. Or I see it as like a freeway system in your head as well. So you would see it as like a trail system, and the more you walk it, the more that path becomes more defined, right? So that's what happens whenever I immediately go into that negative thinking pattern. I have to stop. I have to take a breath, and I have to do that micro shift so I can take that new neural pathway. And again, this takes practice. It takes awareness. It takes a real willingness to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work. This isn't a switch that happens overnight. For some reason, when it comes to mindset pattern shifts, people think it happens overnight. If you're lifting weights, guys, in a gym, you're not going to go around and, I was doing snatches this morning, and I am now up to 30 pounds in snatches, but I had to work my way up to those 30 pounds. I'm not going to just go into the gym and just start throwing and tossing 30 pounds, over my head. I could hurt myself. I'm not going to probably do it correctly. There's practice that goes into it. You have to practice. So I can't just go in and start throwing the 30 pounds. You have to practice, and you have to be willing to do the practice. And if you're not willing, then okay, then you stay stuck in those patterns. So you catch those old thought patterns and you decide after you catch it, after you have the awareness, nope, not going down that road today. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's doable. It's a little shift. It's those micro shifts. It's thought by thought, little by little. Maybe you think about shifting one thought a day and build upon that. This is not just also about forcing yourself to think positive. You and I both know it's not real. Fake positivity will come back to bite you in the ass. Why? Because you're just pushing it down. You're putting the mask on. I talked about the mask stuff in one of my other videos. I'll drop the link below. Don't hide what needs to be healed. You have to pull back those layers. You have to pull back the onion layers. So what does work? If I'm telling you all these things, like how can you do this? Understanding that your brain is wired to repeat patterns, habitual patterns. The more you think of something, the more your brain locks into that habit. This is why we have belief systems that we lock into. So if you spent years telling yourself, life is hard, nothing works out for me, no one likes me, I'm too sensitive, of course, that is going to feel like your life, your truth. It is your truth. Your brain has trained itself to believe this as your truth. But guess what? You can train it to believe something else. It's in your power. That's why your thoughts don't actually control you unless you let them. You can control those thoughts. But here's where most people get stuck. If you believe every single thought that pops into your head, then yeah, your thoughts are going to be running the show. And let's be real, guys, not every thought is true. Ask yourself when a thought pops up, is this true? Most of these thoughts aren't true. They come from your ego. I have another video that I'll drop down below all about your ego. Your ego is there to keep you safe, but actually it's keeping you stuck. So I'm telling you this so you don't slap on that fake positivity, pretend like everything's okay. That's not going to work. That's not the healing. That's putting the mask on. And before you say, but Ginger, I just can't stop thinking negatively. It's just what I do. I get it, but that's also why we don't force or focus on positive thinking. It is those micro shifts, y'all. You can't go from angry to joy. If you do, you're masking things. The real work is noticing the patterns and shifting them. And we don't do that by forcing happy thoughts down our throat. Doesn't work. We don't move up what is called the emotional scale by forcing positive thoughts down our throat. What is the emotional scale? So this is a concept from Abraham Hicks. There's a scale that we move through, like through our emotions. I was also taught a scale that was in my life coaching program, IPAC. Basically the same thing. And I talk about it with all my coaching clients, explaining that our emotions range from a low vibration, like fear, despair, powerlessness, to a higher vibration, love, joy, gratitude, appreciation. But here's where most people get it wrong. They try to jump from feeling awful to feeling amazing. Fake positivity doesn't work. Slapping on that fake smile, that fake positivity, shoving those real emotions down and thinking that's going to change something doesn't work. Hiding what you feel doesn't change your frequency. So you may pretend like you feel okay, but your subconscious knows and your body knows that frequency is held in your body. My mentor, my Reiki mentor, she talks about how we're constantly living in the red. Like so many people are ready to explode because of anxiety and stress and the overwhelm we constantly live in this world. It's called living in the red, a lower frequency in the universe. And that is why when somebody cuts you off in traffic, boom, we have an explosion. Or somebody just loses their shit because they go into a rage spiral because we're always in that red. And that's because people are holding on to so many emotions that are living in their body. Emotions live in our body. That true frequency still lives in your body. So the frequency of despair or anger is living in your body, and it builds up and it gets stuck and lives energetically in your tissues and your DNA and every part of you. So this is how energetic blockages happen. It's a reason why it is so important to do energy healing to incorporate that release. It's also why thinking positive doesn't work, because that frequency still lives in your body. Follow these steps. Acknowledge the emotion. What are you feeling? Then you take one micro shift to shift them. Move up the energetic scale, one tiny baby step at a time. So for example, low vibration, fear, grief, powerlessness. The next step would be move to anger and blame. Yeah, anger is actually higher than despair because it moves your energy. So then you move to the next step, maybe frustration, hopefulness, optimism. Then you move to the next step, love, appreciation. Find something to be grateful for. Find something to be grateful for. You step your way one baby step at a time. After you feel that emotion first, you have to feel the emotion. You have to the awareness, feel the emotion, and then shift it. And you do this by reaching for that best feeling thought. Like that one best feeling thought, something that feels just a tiny bit better. If you're feeling hopeless, aim for frustration. Can I be frustrated? If you're feeling angry, can you feel a little hope instead of anger? You don't have to be high vibing all the time. That's complete BS, y'all. You need to just keep shifting upward, and the universe responds to that shift. Why? Because it changes your frequency. It gets you out of your head, gets you into your body, and you get curious and you start shifting your frequency. So I ask every coaching client, where do your emotions live? So when they have these emotions, they feel these big emotions, where is it living? Because then it tells us what needs to be released. Start getting curious. Why am I angry? And what can I do to shift it? What's one tiny little step that I can take? Remember, emotions don't just exist in your mind. They're felt. They are in your body. Tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, tension in your shoulders. Your body holds on to this energy, that frequency, long after the moment has passed, y'all. So you have to release it. When you don't release it, that's where your energy gets stuck. That's where that energy healing is so critical. So when you begin to raise your awareness around your emotions, where they're living in your body, recognize it, get curious, why is it here, clear them out. Do something to clear that energy out of your body. Here's a quick clearing that you can do. You just close your eyes, take a deep breath, bring up the emotion, all the feelings that you're holding on to for whatever just happened in that situation or life or whatever, where you feel it in your body, and imagine pulling all of that stuck energy together into a ball of light in front of wherever you're feeling that tension. And then let it all collect there in that ball of light. And then I want you to speak out loud and say, ask the divine to take it and transmute it into healing energy. And release. Breathe in and let it go. This is how you start doing small energetic shifts. Not by ignoring it, by acknowledging it, and then releasing it. And once you start to release it, that's when you actually begin moving up the emotional scale. Because then you can move to the next emotion. This works by shifting your energy. You don't just think emotions, you feel them, which means shifting your energy has to be a full body experience. And some other things you can do to shift this energy: grounding, go outside, hug a tree, put your feet on the ground, connect with Mother Earth, release the energy through your feet, allow Mother Earth to take the heaviness you're carrying. Shake it off, stand up, shake it off, get that stuck energy out of your body. Such an easy practice you can do, physically shaking your body. Jump up and down, go on a trampoline, move your arms. It breaks up that stagnant energy. Imagine as you're shaking, all the energy that's stuck in your body releasing from your body. Breath work is another one to easily do and incorporate. Deep belly breaths. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6 or 8. This resets your nervous system. Another good one is change your environment. I use this one all the time. If you are spiraling in negative thoughts, I still spiral. I get up and I move. I go for a walk. I go for a run. I get out in the sun. I go out into nature. I open up my windows. I don't care if it's 10 degrees outside. I will open up my windows to just get some energy flowing. Go to the ocean. Even if you're in the city, go to a park. Release. Change your environment. Energy shifts when you shift. It's not just going to be magic wand and it's going to happen. Take a shower, go to the water, go to a lake, anything. Water is a natural energy cleanser. Take a bath. You can put your hand on your heart. Speak it out loud as you tap your heart. I am safe. I am releasing this energy, and let it go. And then go do something outside. Let the sun hit your back. Shake it out. Think of that next best thought and bring that frequency into your body. These aren't just self-care tips for sensitive souls, guys. They're real physical ways to move energy through your body. Moving that energy out of your body, which you pick up all day long. You're picking up other people's energy and yours. It also helps rewire your brain, your subconscious. And when you make these things a habit, you are rewiring your brain. And this way, your energy responds to that rewiring, to those new emotions. So you have to not only shift the thoughts, but also move the energy out of your body. And maybe people that are not so sensitive, they don't have to do that. Maybe they just can shift into a new energy. And I've seen that from other people that are not sensitive. But for us, we hold it so heavy and so deep. The release of the energy is critical to be able to move into that next energy. I know for me, if I get stuck in frustration, I'm not moving anywhere because it's my spiral emotion. That's not where I want to live. So I had to take that awareness and say, do I want to live this way? No, I'm going to change it. I have to shift it. So the last thing I need you to do is take that radical responsibility. This is the truth that no one wants to hear. I know. But none of this is going to work if you're still holding on to those same old stories, those same old beliefs, the truth that you think is true, but it's not. Nothing's going to change. And that's hard. That's exactly what you'll keep experiencing if you keep putting that energy and frequency out there. That's a hard pill to swallow. And I'm not saying your struggles aren't real. I'm not saying what you're going through is not worthy of being angry and frustrated. What I am saying is that it is going to keep you in that mindset. It is going to keep you feeling powerless. It is going to allow those thoughts to control you, your ego to control you. Do you want the power? So the real question is, to start this shift and transformation, do you actually want to change? Because if you do, it starts with that radical responsibility and awareness. Get in your body, release the energy, and things will start to shift. No one else is going to do this for you. It's up to you. And if you want to dive deeper into shifting your energy as a sensitive soul, grab my free Highly Sensitive Person Empowered workbook. And it is such an amazing workbook. The link is in the description. I'll also pin it. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and send this video to somebody that maybe needs to hear it. See it, experience it. Because remember, it's all about experience, frequency, energy, right? I am so grateful you are here. I'm sending you so much light, love, and beautiful energy. Have a great day, y'all.